Hey, yo, Fro Wrestling Podcast listeners, welcome to the show where we don't sing it, we bring it. Help us out and click subscribe to show your support. While you're at it, if you're a YouTube user, make sure you enable notifications so they let you know every time a new episode of the Fro Wrestling Podcast goes up. Guys, let's talk. Remember the days when you were always ready to go? Now you can increase your performance and get that extra confidence in bed. Listen up, BlueChew.com. That's blue like the color blue. Blue Chew brings you the first chewable with the same FDA active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, so you know they work. You can take them anytime, day or night, even on a full stomach, and since they're chewable, they work up to twice as fast as a pill, so you can be ready whenever the opportunity arises. When I tried Blue Chew, I really noticed something extra. Now, this isn't just for guys who can't perform, it's for any guy who wants extra function to enhance their performance in the bedroom. Blue Chew is prescribed online and shipped straight to your door. It's in a discreet package, so no in-person doctor visits, no waiting in the pharmacy. The best of all, no more awkwardness. They're made in the United States, and since Blue Chew prepares and ships direct, they're cheaper than a pharmacy. Right now, we've got a special deal for our listeners. Visit BlueChew.com and get your first shipment absolutely free when you use our special promo code FROPODCAST. Just pay the $5 shipping fee. Again, that's Blue, B-L-U-E, Chew.com, promo code FROPODCAST to try it free. Blue Chew is the better, cheaper, faster choice, and we thank them for sponsoring the podcast. If you want to become a member of the Fro Wrestling Podcast family, you want your name in the shout-outs, check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/Fro Wrestling Podcast. Sign up today. Don't forget, loyalty rewards. Any $15 a month contributor gets to co-host an episode of one of our live shows. Our $7.50 a month contributors also entered into a drawing to host an episode with me. This episode, last minute, we want to get our predictions in a specific prediction episode because overnight, the odds have shifted in Vegas. Many things could be changing at WrestleMania, including several championship holders, and we want to get those predictions out there now that we have more information. So, it looks like there's a couple other tidbits in the wrestling world we need to address ahead of WrestleMania, just so it could be on top of all the stories. We don't want to wait. One, huge exit from Impact Wrestling. Eli Drake, former Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion, is finished with the company. His contract does not expire until May 31st. Now, that's a critically important piece of information because he would miss AEW Double or Nothing, so I don't think that that's going to be an automatic where he goes there. He also obviously is not able to go to WrestleMania tonight and be some kind of surprise there, which I think he would get an interesting response because I think a lot of people, more people than maybe WWE realizes, know who he is. And I think he is an incredible talent. Impact Wrestling has not done anything with of substance for quite a while. And now he has the opportunity starting May 31st to be a free agent. I think WWE ought to swoop in. He was in their developmental territory in the past. He was Sean Ricker. He was an incredible talent. And they let him go to go get some seasoning around the world. And he's done that. He's wrestled all over the world with Impact Wrestling. He's been on the independent scene. And he would be an incredible add. Ring of Honor, another place where he would be a fantastic fit. He pretty much would fit any roster. The reality, though, is he's an incredible talker. If you close your eyes, you don't look at him, you close your eyes, just listen to the way he speaks. He almost sounds like Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's got a very unique presentation, and in ring, he can go with anybody. Whether it's somebody as big as Fallah Bahh, the giant sumo wrestler, the guy, all the way down to a cruiserweight. So you can do so much with him. I think him leaving Impact Wrestling, whether they realize it or not, is a huge blow to their company. They really missed out on some great chances to push him in a much more creative and better way. They were just recently putting him into a feud for the tag team championship, which was such a waste of his talent. He is a world champion level caliber wrestler, and they weren't using him that way. I think he just got frustrated creatively. Not only that, they book so infrequently. They have TV taping so sporadically. I think in this stage of his career, he really wants to be active. And that's not the case with Impact Wrestling. So I can't wait to see where he goes. If All Elite Wrestling does sign him, he would be a huge get for them. Matches we've never seen. If you're not a fan of Eli Drake, you really need to check him out. Look him up. Go on YouTube. Go on the Global Wrestling Network. Their network is fantastic anyways. You should be checking that out anyways. But if you want to see some incredible action with somebody like Eli Drake, who you may not be as familiar with, go do that. He is incredible. Matt Taven, last night becoming the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion, outlasting the Marty Scurll and Jay Lethal in their match. He's the new Ring of Honor champion, while Kazuchika Okada became a 5-time IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, both at the G1 Supercard. And we know that last night was insane and crazy for other reasons. We know about the Bret Hart thing at the Hall of Fame. We know that Enzo and Cass showed up at the G1 Supercard. The Beautiful People came back. They aren't the Beautiful People anymore. Obviously, there's intellectual property rights around the name Beautiful People. Now they're Team Allure. They showed up in Ring of Honor. And we always thought, at least for the last year or two, that Velvet Sky and Angelina Love were pretty much done with the business. Not the case. They're obviously in Ring of Honor now. That's a huge get for their Women of Honor division. So they were there. They did a run and an attack and everything else against Kelly Klein, the new Women of Honor champion. Took that title last night as well. And now, Matt Taven calling out Kazuchika Okada. There was some conversation after the G1 Supercard about, where he sees himself and Okada being in the main event, and could he see himself with all these unification matches that took place at the G1 Supercard. The Guerrillas of Destiny now wrapping up the tag title situation. Jeff Cobb unifying the Never Openweight and the television championship. Like all these championship mergers between Ring of Honor and New Japan. Does he see himself potentially having a program with Kazuchika Okada? And he was very much open to it. And he plays a great heel character. I think he's a great ambassador for Ring of Honor. The only concern I have, I know Jay Lethal re-signed a contract back last November. I don't know how long the contract is for. I hope, it's really hard when you're somebody who holds the Ring of Honor championship for as long as Jay Lethal has. What do you do with him now? That's going to be the thing they have to figure out, is how to promote Jay Lethal in an effective way after losing that championship. But Matt Taven, I think, is going to be a great man to carry the flag banner for that company. And then, okay, so last night we had our Final Four voting for the greatest WrestleMania match of all time, and now the championship final is up. It's live. Go to my homepage, frowrestling.com, and cast your vote right now. The final championship voting match ahead of WrestleMania tonight. We want to find out what you think is the greatest WrestleMania match in history, and our championship final has come down to two matches that if you had told me at the beginning it was going to come down to these two, I would not have been surprised. Macho Man Randy Savage defending the Intercontinental Championship against Ricky the Dragon Steamboat at WrestleMania 3, which was my number one seed in the tournament to begin with. So I'm proud of our voters for picking our number one seed to go to the final. Taking on the match from WrestleMania 12, Shawn Michaels versus Bret the Hitman Hart for the WWE Championship in the Iron Man match that went to overtime, where Shawn Michaels finally lived out that boyhood dream. That is your championship final. Do me a favor, get on frowrestling.com, cast a vote tonight at the conclusion of WrestleMania. I hopefully will be giving all kinds of comments on Twitter throughout the show. I got my own WrestleMania party to be a part of. I hope all of you will be a part of the show. But at the end of the show, right before the last match, right before we get to see Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte tear it down, I'm going to put up the winner of our greatest WrestleMania match tournament. Get your votes in as soon as you can. Okay, so I said at the start of the show, there's been some shifts in some of the voting odds for the different matches at WrestleMania. So I'm going to change up some of my predictions. Hey, I can do that. The matches didn't happen yet. I was kind of rushed last night. They were kicking me off the show, playing the music ahead of time. I didn't get to get the predictions out the way I'd like to. So I'm putting them out now, and now I got more information. So hopefully I'll be a little more accurate. So Buddy Murphy, Tony Nese, Cruiserweight Championship. Last night I told everybody I really would love to see Tony Nese win this. I just don't think it happens. I think WWE really looks at Buddy Murphy as being a legitimate star, and I like that. I think he's somebody you can grow, and he is going to walk out retaining the Cruiserweight Championship. The Women's Battle Royal, my opinion, has not changed. There are only two people I think legitimately could walk out as the winner. That would be Naomi, because she won last year and she's been complaining about her role in the company. And lately, WWE has been kind of pumping up those people who complain, which I think is a bad business move because it makes it look like if you ever want to move up in the company, all you can do is complain about something and you'll get promoted. So I could see where Naomi might get a shot. Carmella would be somebody who I could see getting an opportunity. I just don't see her winning this, which is kind of a shame because she goes from being a SmackDown Women's Champion to pretty much being a comedy act with R-Truth and done nothing the rest of the year. So I wouldn't mind seeing her win. I think that Mandy Rose really deserves the opportunity because she really should have been at Mania taking on Asuka for the SmackDown Women's Championship to begin with. However, Asuka is not the SmackDown Women's Champion anymore, and because of that, for that reason, I think WWE still thinks that Asuka is the woman to represent this blue brand, and I think Asuka will win the Battle Royal and get her shot. Going over to the men's side, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, like I said last night, there's nobody on that Battle Royal who matters except Braun Strowman. There's nobody you would even want to give the rub to push, except maybe Apollo Crews, but I don't see that happening either. Now, if WWE wanted to be really creative and do something that I think is long overdue, they would push and have Carl Anderson win the Battle Royal because I think as a singles wrestler, he would be phenomenal. But they've never given him that opportunity to showcase that. This would be an opportunity to do that, but they're not going to. Braun Strowman is going to win the Men's Battle Royal. As far as the Raw Tag Team Championship, the Revival defending against Ryder and Hawkins, this is where the losing streak ends. Ryder and Hawkins walk out the new Raw Tag Team Champions. The Usos defend the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Look, I love Ricochet and Aleister Black being the first team in history to challenge for the Raw, SmackDown, and NXT Championships all within 1 week. The Bar have been in the picture for too long. So have the Usos, even though they just signed a contract. But I'm going with Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev winning the Tag Team Championship. Maybe this is something that indicates that maybe they know what they're doing with Shinsuke Nakamura finally. Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre. I said last night I would have McIntyre go over. That's what I would do, but the odds makers do not lie. Roman Reigns wins tonight, even though I think it's more important to push Drew McIntyre. But my prediction now is Roman Reigns wins. I've said it all along, Randy Orton is such an overwhelming favorite to win his match. Randy Orton beats AJ Styles. Even though I don't like that as the decision, I understand it as the decision. So we'll absolutely see that. I think Randy Orton, he's a huge favorite in the match. Randy Orton defeats AJ Styles. The Miz, we already know he's going to destroy Shane McMahon. I mean, look, he took out all 3 members of Sanity this past week on SmackDown. He's going to win this match. It's going to be a great moment for him as his babyface turn continues. Hopefully that puts him in a position for a championship opportunity, something he's long overdue. He's a hard worker. He's earned that spot, but I hate the match. I wish it wasn't even on the card. I've said that last night. I can't stand it, but Miz is going to win. Kurt Angle's retirement match. I don't know what to say here. I said it last night. I could easily see WWE giving the win to Baron Corbin just because he's staying in the company. But I think it's the wrong thing to do for Kurt Angle. But if you look back at past retirement matches, Shawn Michaels, a loss. Ric Flair, a loss. You know what I'm saying? There's kind of a pattern of behavior there. WWE seems to enjoy booking the retiring competitor to lose. So I'm going against the odds makers who say Kurt Angle is going to win. And I'm saying Baron Corbin is going to defeat Kurt Angle. Triple H, the hands-down favorite. This one I don't even think makes sense. Obviously, you can always count on Triple H for another match, so he's not going to lose his career to a part-time, here for once in 3 years, Batista, who actually looks like he's taken off quite a bit of muscle mass in recent years. I believe that Triple H is going to absolutely tear apart Batista. This is a match, again, that is a main event level match had it been built properly. This has been confusing the way they've built this up. You know, you got Batista screaming about give him what he wants. Well, none of us knew what he wants until you tell us, and it was like ridiculous, the promos that went back and forth with these guys. But hopefully the match will deliver. I know Batista, Titus O'Neil was making fun of Batista for being a little nervous ahead of the match that he wasn't going to be able to go in the ring and do what he used to do, but I think he'll do just fine. I'm changing my opinion on the SmackDown, or I shouldn't say SmackDown, the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. I say Sasha Banks and Bayley should win because they only recently got the belts, but the odds makers are always the ones who kind of mess with you. And after thinking about it, the Iconics are the number 2 favorite to win. I'm going with the Iconics to win. They've become like a glorified punchline in WWE. Nobody takes them seriously, and I think that's exactly why they're dangerous, and I'm going with the Iconics to win the Women's Tag Team Championship. I strongly feel that the Demon King Finn Balor is going to take the Intercontinental Championship from Bobby Lashley, because let's face it, the Ricochet and Aleister Black tag team can only do so much. They're not going to win their tag team match, and I think that Ricochet versus Finn Balor is something that has to happen in the WWE ring, and that's where I think we're headed. So I see Finn Balor taking that championship to give Ricochet and he something interesting to feud over. Samoa Joe, Rey Mysterio, I don't think it's a surprise to anybody. Samoa Joe's going to win this one going away. This one isn't even a close competition. Joe has never had a win at WrestleMania, and it's time. He deserves one. Kofi Kingston, Daniel Bryan, man, if Vince McMahon isn't listening, if he doesn't see how important it is to let Kofi Kingston win this match, I don't know what he's looking at. This match, it's the heavy favorite. Kofi's supposed to win, and I'm going with that. Kofi Kingston wins the WWE Championship, even though a year ago, you would never have been able to convince me that that was going to happen. The Universal Championship. Here's where I'm going to part company with the odds makers. They flip-flopped so many times this week, and now they're back to Seth Rollins being the favorite. Well, I'm not. I'm sticking with Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is going to win the Universal Championship match because they need a main event for Saudi Arabia, and it's going to be Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns, where Roman Reigns is going to recapture the Universal title. And all this hard work that Seth Rollins has put in over the last year is going to be for nothing. And it's a shame. It's bad business. The fans want Seth Rollins, but for whatever reason, I just feel like in my gut, they're going to give it to Brock Lesnar and eventually Roman Reigns. And finally, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Ronda Rousey, winner takes all, Raw Women's and SmackDown Women's Championship. And I'm saying it right now, as we've all expected, Becky Lynch had better walk out of there as the champion. If they pull any swerve in that match, the fans may riot. It is Becky Lynch's time. She's the number one merchandise seller in the company. She deserves this. Give her her moment of glory and let it be the end of the story. Let WWE do the right thing for a change. Hey, if you're into independent wrestling, you like the indie shows, the great one-on-one experience you get for being at an indie show, check out my indie events tab at the top of the page at frowrestling.com. Do that today. Find a show coming to an area near you. Also, if you want to check out my articles, I put up articles on my blog, in Fro's Corner, also located at frowrestling.com. That's all the time we have for this episode. Check back with us next episode. We'll run down all the latest wrestling news and rumors. Special thanks, as always, goes out to bensound.com and purpleplanet.com. They produce all the music and sound effects we use on our shows. Today's podcast sponsored in part by Beazle Games. Bringing a new friend to family game night is easy with sketchy people. Showcase your artistic side in this new game from Beazle Games by going to frowrestling.com and clicking the icon in the middle of the screen. And to AlleyRepair.com. Contact Alley Repair for servicing all your classic skee-ball, pinball, and arcade game needs. If you're looking for your next career move, you're considering college, university life, or you just need some formal training for your next career decision, go to our sister website at frolifeplanning.com for all your higher education needs, as Fro Life Educational Planning is for today, for tomorrow, and for life with Fro Life. I'm Fred Froelich, better known as Mr. Fro. I want to thank you for taking a few moments with us today. If you're looking for more wrestling news and rumors, go to www.tsj101sports.com for their latest articles on the world of professional wrestling. Until next time, take care, everybody. Enjoy WrestleMania, and I'll talk to you guys in our next show. Take care.